Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to another Investing 365 video. I'm your host, Ruslan G. Welcome back. Thank you all so much for watching. If you clicked on today's video because of the title, we are going to be talking about the most disruptive and innovative industries. A lot of us investors are looking for the hypey companies. A lot of us are looking at the SPACs at the current moment. A lot of us are looking at how the president is going to impact the stock market and what companies might be affected by the new administration and the policies they put into place. And so today I wanted to shed some light on the companies that I personally think are the most disruptive and innovative, and the industries also that make up that. So we're gonna go through the industries, and after that, I'll make sure to give you guys some examples of some of the stocks that make up these industry disruptors. And some of these you might have heard of, some of these you might have not heard of. And regardless, all these companies are at the forefront of innovation and have investors all the way from Bill Gates to Elon Musk to Jeff Bezos to Kathy Wood at ARK Invest and so many others. But without further ado, let's dive into the most innovative industries and the companies that make up these sectors. All right, so the first one on the list happens to be artificial intelligence. This is an industry that doesn't need any explaining, and really all of these are gonna be pretty straightforward. You guys have probably heard of these innovative and disrupting industries, so I'm not gonna get too far into it. I'm just gonna give you the stocks that I think are gonna perform the best in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years time. And remember that this is always changing. So new stocks are gonna come into the market, and some other companies are gonna diversify their portfolios to be able to compete with these stocks that I mentioned here. So this is always a constant rate of change. So remember that just because these companies are at the top of my list today doesn't mean they aren't going to be changing tomorrow or the next day or even a few weeks or months down the road. So make sure to be paying attention to what the market's doing to stay in the loop on these industry disruptors. Always do your own research. And a couple of the stocks that make up the artificial intelligence industry that I think are going to do really, really well are Google, Amazon, and of course, Apple. All of these companies are working already on artificial intelligence, and Google even has a quantum computer that is able to do
On the website ias.edu, they say, a quantum computer encodes information into quantum.
And all three of these companies are poised for success for the years to come. They are some of the big giants in tech already, but I believe that they have a lot more room to grow. Next on the list, we have 3D printing. There's a ton of stocks out there, but two of my personal favorites are NNDM and SSYS. I actually have a video on both of those stocks. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description below. I have a playlist that contains all of my personal favorite stocks, and I update it either once a week or even sometimes twice a week with some of my favorite stock picks and exactly why I'm picking those stocks and putting my hard-earned money into those companies. Next on the list, I have our renewable energy stocks. A great example of a stock on this list is a company like Tesla, Plug Power, ticker symbol Plug, and ticker symbol DQ. The third one on the list is actually a Chinese energy company that handles solar production. Go check them out if you haven't heard of them before. And I personally believe that these companies are going to do really, really well in the energy sector. Whether or not some of these stocks are already pretty capped out as far as price goes, it doesn't mean that their revenue and their sales and all of those things aren't going to increase over time, especially with current market conditions and the potential that they have in the long term. Next one on the list you might have heard of is Genomics, and companies like CRISPR and BNGO have been making headlines month after month after month, and not just because their stock prices have skyrocketed, but also the potential for curing disease or speeding up the rate of curing disease is through the technologies that they're able to create and even implement, which is what the true potential of these stocks actually is. You know, I couldn't do a video without including EVs. Now, the EV market is absolutely exploding right now, so be very careful. And if you're thinking of buying, honestly, any of these companies, this is not financial advice, this is just stocks that I either personally own or I'm watching to buy. And I would highly suggest that when you're doing this research, make sure you're not actually always buying on the highs. You want to be buying on dips. A lot of these companies, as they go up hundreds of percent per year or even per month in some cases, they also have very significant drops during these climbs. And in my personal experience, I have been able to make more money when I buy dips instead of buying all-time highs. Again, this is just from personal experience, but just something to keep in mind as you're going on your investment journey and you're trying to pick stocks that are very, very disruptive, very innovative, but also high in value. And next on the list is one of my personal favorites, industry disruptors, which is Fintech. And I actually did a video on Rocket Mortgage and why I think they're the next Fintech play for the mortgage industry. But a few on the list that I haven't mentioned in a while is Square. And I actually did a video maybe about 4 or 5 months back when Square was like at 90, maybe $100 per share. And obviously it's doubled, if not more at this point. And I've been telling people about this stock since it IPO'd at $10 per share. On the YouTube channel, it hasn't been around that long, so I haven't been able to tell you guys about it. But I do have a video if you want to go check that out where I break down Square's business model. And the other two companies that I have on the list are actually crypto tokens. Again, if you guys want me to do a full in-depth video on these two, but the tokens I'm going to mention here are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, they are very, very expensive. As far as their all-time highs go, they're sitting very, very close to those levels. And so always tread carefully when you're buying innovative and disrupting technologies like this. And remember that crypto happens to be one of the most volatile sectors that you can put your money in right now. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It just means that it's volatile and you could either go up a lot or down a lot. And a lot of it has to do with big institutional investors that have already bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, and now they're waiting for retail investors like you and I to get in more. Again, I've been buying Ethereum since 2016 and also Bitcoin since 2016. So be careful buying at these all-time highs, as I've seen the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum drop 80, almost 90% in a matter of a few months. So be very, very careful. And if you can, buy on a dip if you plan on getting in, if you're not in already. Last two on the list is VR and space exploration. Now, let's talk about VR first because this one's very, very easy. There's not a lot of players in this space. The two most important ones, I think, are Facebook and Sony. Another one that you could throw in there technically is Snapchat. And if you wanted to get extra spicy, Apple is another one that you could probably throw on the list. Again, that company is more of a conglomerate. They own a lot of different sectors, but they are trying to explore that space. They're also getting into cars, so technically they could be related to the EV space, but that's not confirmed yet. They could be releasing a car as late as 2025 or even as late as 2030. Again, nothing's confirmed, but I just wanted to raise attention to that fact that VR is growing very, very fast, and the biggest players in my opinion are Facebook, Sony, but there are a couple others that are still big companies. They're just not prioritizing it as much as these two players in my opinion. And last but not least, we have on the list is space exploration. And all of you guys have probably seen videos or heard of, or maybe even thought about tickets on buying, where you can pretty much go into the stratosphere and float and then come back down. And that's pretty much been their mission statement since the beginning. And the company has been doing very, very well. It's also likely that Virgin Galactic will be put into ARK's new ETF, which is the space exploration ETF. This is probably one of the biggest companies that people are paying attention to right now, since they're the only public space taxi company similar to Blue Origin or SpaceX. But again, those are both private companies which you cannot get a hold of right now. Even though if you had an option, I think those are the better plays as far as space exploration goes. But playing with the cards that we are dealt as public investors, and we don't have millions, if not billions of dollars just to throw at these other companies, I would highly suggest looking at ticker symbol SPCE, which is just Virgin Galactic. And the last one in the space exploration folder is a company called Maxar Technologies, ticker symbol MAXR. They offer a lot of solutions from space imagery to satellites to robotics to analytics. I have just recently added them to my portfolio just a couple months back, so go check them out. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this video. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button. And if you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go hit the subscribe button as well. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below if there's something you'd like to see in a future video, because I make sure to go through all my comments and see what people want to see. And if it's something that's going to bring value to the rest of the community, I'm more than happy to do a video on it. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Feel free to check out the links down in the description below where you can get a free stock from Robinhood, $20 free from Stash, 2 or more stocks free from Webull, or $10 free from M1 Finance.